Have you ever wondered how you could take something that you loved so much as a child and just make it like a little bit more socially acceptable, as like an adult in your 30s? Well, today we're gonna show you how to do exactly that. So come right back and maybe bring a spoon. Obviously, once you reach a certain age, no one is ever expecting you to just keep sugary cereals in your home, especially Fruity Pebbles. Like, unless you have kids in your house, your friends are probably like, oh, well, you're like in your 30s. You should be eating grape nuts and drinking all the water and exercising and getting sunshine. You need a lot of things. Getting older, it's really just a chore. Why? Why can't we still enjoy all the things that we had when we were kids as adults? Why don't we get both? I mean, this whole time you thought I was sitting here enjoying a nice mug of coffee when really, this is just cereal. Because adulting, but it's not any cereal. This is Fruity Pebbles. As a child in the 90s, Fruity Pebbles is like the best. You add some milk in here and then you just walk away. You dawdle because you were a child in the 90s. Then you come back, cereal perfection. Once that milk has just completely been absorbed and you just have the globbiest, gloopiest mess of Fruity Pebbles. I mean, come on, Food Network, you can't create a thing like that.
I let Fruity Pebbles sit in a bowl for an hour.
This is delicious.
That's amazing.
But as an adult in my 30s, I'm probably not supposed to be buying Fruity Pebbles. How do I take this cereal and make it something that's okay to eat, like on the regular? Let me introduce you. It's called a Fruity Pebbles candy bar. What's more normal than someone in their 30s eating a candy bar? No one's ever laughed at a 32-year-old eating a Snickers. No one's ever been like, look at that 33-year-old over there eating a Kit Kat bar. What are they doing with their life? Winning, obviously. This is how you have it all. You get your Fruity Pebbles, you get your candy bar, and you don't get side-eye from Susie or Joey or whatever your friends' names are. Let's take a gander at the nutrition facts, because honestly, if I'm eating Fruity Pebbles, obviously I am concerned about my nutrition and the facts. Yeah, there's like some calories and you're probably not supposed to eat the whole bar in one sitting, but that's just for children. There's some fat, because of course there is, but also there's calcium. What? That's amazing. I mean, of course there is, because of milk. And calcium's good for you. Flintstone vitamins, Flintstones, hey, they're bringing the calcium in their candy bars. It's great. There's also potassium. There's not really any iron. There's no vitamin D, and there's not really any other vitamins, but there's calcium. It makes your bones strong, okay? All of them, all of your bones. There's a lot. I could point to all of them, but you might get bored. So now you don't have to eat bananas, because I think there's potassium in bananas. Or it's in a fruit or something. You could Google it. But now you don't have to eat that thing, because you can just eat these candy bars because it's in here. Thanks, Frankfurt Candy Company and the Post Cereal Company, for just joining forces and making this really healthy. I mean, it's got calcium. Have I mentioned that it has calcium? And potassium. I could go to the store and I could buy a whole box of these, because I'm an adult, make my own money. I'll buy whatever I want, right? Am I right? I'm right. Or because, I'm just trying so hard to do all the best things for myself and be budget conscious. No, I'm not. I could just make my own, right? How hard does that look? Fruity Pebbles candy bar? I mean, I've got Fruity Pebbles, now I just have to add the candy bar. This looks pretty simple. I'm gonna crack that open. We'll see what kind of thing we're up against. I don't feel like I can make that, because I own a candy store. I can make some stuff. So here we have the Fruity Pebbles candy bar. Upon first glance, this looks pretty basic. I can see speckles of Fruity Pebbles from the front. I see a lot of Fruity Pebbles from the back. My spidey sense is telling me that they took some sort of chocolate, white chocolate-ish, and Fruity Pebbles, and they just stirred it together, and then they poured it out into this mold, probably not by hand. It was probably a fancy machine. We don't have a machine. I'll do mine by hand. It will be better. And then they were like, yeah, that's it. That's our candy bar. Pretty simple. Let's see if it's any good. It's got some snap to it. All right, well, that is interesting. Has some crunch like the cereal has. So that's good. It's a little fruity, kind of has a weird like tang to it. Definitely not your typical cereal and milk flavoring, but also maybe not your typical candy bar flavor. It's weird. I don't know who they're trying to win over with this, but it is definitely not me. It's very sweet, which of course it is because of the like white chocolate, imitation white chocolate, whatever it is they're using. I can feel my blood sugar just like it was here and now it's just like all the way up there. Based on just the overall looks of this, I really feel like all they did was stir up some cereal in some chocolate. So let's go see if we can do that. Seems simple enough. Let's give it a shot. All right, so let's get started. First, you gotta grab a bowl, your cereal, and your chocolate. Maybe something to stir this with, and probably something to pour the melted concoction into. So like all good cooking shows, just start dumping some stuff in your bowl, and then snap your fingers, and magically your chocolate wafers turn into melted chocolate. From there, you're just gonna spoon a little bit into the mold. It doesn't matter where you start, and it really doesn't matter how much you put in there. You can put a little bit, you can put a lot, then start sprinkling your cereal in. Just fill the whole backside with cereal. Because we don't want the cereal to go stale, you're gonna need to put more chocolate on top of that. And then give it a good shake and shake it a few more times. Just tap it on the table, tap, tap, tap it in, just like Happy Gilmore. And then just smooth it out, and because that took too long, let's do it a different way, okay? This time, just add the cereal into the chocolate, stir it up. You can add a little bit, you can add a lot. That may not be enough, so let's just keep adding more. Once you stir that together and it looks like a good cottage cheese consistency, that's how you know you've added enough cereal. So then take your mold and just scoop more in and fill all of the remaining spots on your mold. All right, once all of the cavities on the mold are filled, just tap it on your counter and pop that right into the freezer for, I don't know, a few minutes, a long time. Just you'll know when it's done. Once you take the tray out of the freezer, you'll kind of be able to tell when it's set up because it's either gonna pour right out of the mold onto your countertop or those will just pop right out like candy bars. Once they're out of the mold, take a sharp knife or a dull knife, it doesn't matter, and trim down the edges because we want this to look like we actually tried. Not like you just dumped some cottage cheese cereal into a mold, put it in the freezer, and took it out. And now that we're done, the only thing left to do is try these. All right, so we're back. Before we move on, go like this video and subscribe to the channel. You've made it this far. You're invested. You're here for it. You want to know more. You need more videos in your life, so go do that. Just as a refresher, I want to remind everyone what the candy bar we were trying to make looked like. This is the Fruity Pebbles candy bar made by the Frankfurt Candy Company. Personally, thought it was okay. Does it taste like Fruity Pebbles? Yes. As you can see, there's quite a bit of cereal in here. You get the crunch, you get the Fruity Pebbles flavor. Overall, I'm not gonna rate it because I don't like ranking and rating things, but like it was okay. It could have been better. We tried to make it better. This is what we came up with. We basically did two different versions of this. We have the first one that we did where we poured our chocolate into the mold and then we filled the back with all the Fruity Pebbles cereal that we could possibly fit in there. And then we put just a little bit more chocolate, and that's how we got this nice, clean look. Super plain on the front, and then bam, super fruity. It's like a mullet. It's like if a candy bar could be a mullet, or if a mullet were a candy bar, this is what it would be. Business in the front and party in the back. Business, party, business, party. But then we thought, you know what? Let's kick this up a notch. Let's emerald this and let's just stir the cereal in. On these other three, it's just party all around. It's Eddie Murphy and he just wants to party. My girl likes to party all the time, party all the time. And if you don't get that reference, then you just need to look up that song and you're welcome. So I think to be a fair judge, I need to take a bite out of one of these three because they look the most similar. I mean, look at ours, like, There's a lot more candy bar there. It is much thicker. Yes, theirs was longer, ours is shorter, but ours is thicker, so like we win. I also think that I put way more cereal in mine. When you can add some cereal, like just go for it and then add more. So we know what this was like. It was okay. Let's try this. I don't know if I should snap it or just bite into it, so. It was so much. I don't know if you can hear all the cereal crunching. There's a lot of cereal. Very crunchy, very fruity. I'm not sure what chocolate or white coating or whatever they used, but ours is better. So if you have access to these materials and you have the ambition, the motivation, or just the overall like adulting mentality, like just go for it. Make your own. This is quite delicious. I think the maximum amount of cereal that we put in this is really what drives it home. You could almost call this like a cereal bar. If you remember the days of the cereal bars, it's a bit of a stretch because it's mostly candy. But if you're just like, you know what? I need my Fruity Pebbles. I don't care about being healthy. Like I also need just a really good dose of sugar in the morning or at night, whenever it is that you're eating your cereal. Eat it like this. I mean, you can just get up, you can walk around, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to have a mug. You don't have to have a bowl. It's the ultimate portable way to eat your Fruity Pebbles and still do everything else you need to do. You could take your dog on a walk, eat your Fruity Pebbles. You could drive your car and eat your Fruity Pebbles. I don't know what you do, but you could do it while eating your Fruity Pebbles if you made them like this. If you have suggestions on other cereals that we should make into candy bars, let us know in the comments. Because, I mean, we all know that what comes after Fruity Pebbles? Cocoa Pebbles. Obviously, we're gonna have to make a Cocoa Pebbles candy bar next. Right now, just focus on the fact that we made a Fruity Pebbles candy bar and it's delicious and super portable. If I had a pocket, I would just put it right in my pocket. I have a feeling we might be making a lot more candy bars in the future. So you're gonna have to stay tuned and see what else we can come up with. But until then, bye.